Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out, join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.
Apparently, I had my mic off. Good evening. This is Bob Pace. I'm here to fight CPS and stop taking our children. You just heard from my attorney, Vincent Davis, who has a special podcast at 10 o'clock on Saturday. Next Saturday, you'll have that podcast. Today, he did. Now, I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. That's 14 shows. I'm on at 10 o'clock in the morning and then again at 7 p.m. In the morning, in the evening. And it's for 1 hour. There's exceptions. On Saturday, I come on at 8 to give more chance for people to see Mr. Davis's podcast. And then on Sunday, I come home. I come on at 8 o'clock so I can go to church. So that's 14 shows and, 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Vincent Davis, I want to thank him for what he does. He does a lot of free time to help you in cases. He wants to help you. And just like I do, I have 15 years. I'm not an attorney, but I've been battling CPS. And I've talked to over 600 people in all the 50 states, including Washington, D.C., and I've talked to 15 countries from around the world. And several times they've texted in. And so I have quite a following. I'm here to help people with CPS issues. Now, what I mean by CPS, I mean the Child Protection System. It's a government entity that was mandated by Congress to protect our children from abuse and neglect. It's a branch of social services. And this child protection system is everywhere in every state, every county. They have different names like Department of Children's Services, Arizona and Tennessee, the Cabinet in Kentucky, the Child Protection Services in California. So no matter what the name is, when I say CPS, I mean all the child protection systems. And they're mandated, as I say, to protect our children. And I'm not saying they don't, but the ones that I've talked to, in my case too, have not. They've not done what they said they're supposed to do. Um, let me see what else. Uh, there are 4 ways. Well, I didn't finish the CPS. Furthermore, in CPS, they're supposed to help you with food, shelter, clothing, transportation, education, medical, and to get a job. They're all supposed to do that. A lot of people don't realize that. And then lastly, if they take apart your family because they think your children are in danger, and I don't know why my eyes look so small tonight, but they look pretty small. Today's my birthday, by the way. I'm 75 years old. I'm a dinosaur, I guess. And it seems like all the time my eyes are closed all the time. But believe me, I'm wide open, and I'm trying to open my eyes as wide as I can. So the child protection system, when they do pull apart your family, are supposed to do family reunification. Studies have shown the best parents are the biological parents. So they should make every effort to put you back together. In 79, there was a law that kind of sort of made it, it was like a incentive. The more people you can get out of not being adopted or in the waiting period, the more you get them adopted, the more money you can get. Well, it's gotten out of hand now because now all they want to do is take away your children, put them into foster care. That should not be the thrust or the theme of CPS. The thrust or CPS is the help, not destroy, not take apart the family unit, to help the family. There's things they can help you with parenting classes, drug rehab programs, the lots of things they can do to help. That's what they should be doing. But I'm afraid that my case and the cases of over 600 people have been different. I've only talked to 3 social workers here on the podcast. I imagine there's more out there that do honestly try to take care of the families and help them be better and take care of the children. But I'm afraid that isn't the case. Now, there's 4 ways you can interact with this podcast. One of the first ways is that you can be in this room. And this is great. You found me. I'm Fighting CPS. I'm broadcasting YouTube using the StreamYard application. And you can be in this room and use emojis and check below to join my podcast, or check also for notifications, send me stars, hearts and love and thumbs up, those kinds of things. Now, if you want to go further and actually make some messages, you can talk about your case on here by doing comments or questions. You type them in, your message is there. All I ask you to show your first name, the city or the county where the case was, the state, and if you're from a country, also put the province and the country. You may not have states, you may have provinces, or however you just describe your country. Please be complete with your case so that I can know everything so it can go smoother. Now, second way is to be a guest on our podcast. And to be a guest on our podcast, all you have to do is email to our show producer. Her name is Grace, and she works very hard behind the scenes. I want to thank you, Grace, for what you do. You just email her you want to be on my morning show or evening show, my Monday show or Wednesday show, and she'll do the rest. She'll contact you, send a link, and then go over what you can do and not do on the podcast. Now, a fourth way on this podcast is to, let me get there, is to call in. And I have my number up now, so my phone's live. It's 626-698-0990. That's my direct phone line number. And thank you. My son just came home and told me happy birthday. The nicest thing I can ever hear is when your family members have their. And I want to welcome Esme, E-S-M-E, Esme. I probably pronounced it right, if that's your first name. And I'm glad you just joined. Esme, if you could tell me your city, state, or if you're from a country, let me know. That'd be good. Do you help people in Michigan? I help people around the world. The 50 states and the and 15 countries right now that I talk to. So yes, I do help you. All I ask you is to tell me where you're from. If you're from the USA, just your city or county, and your state. That would be great. And then you can go ahead and type me a comment or a question. I'll try to answer you, or you can call in. Anyway, so welcome, Esme. I'm so glad you're here. We're here to talk about CPS cases, and I've told you the 4 ways to do it. Now, I've come up with 5 rules that have helped me too. Oakland County in Michigan. Okay, you're first from Oakland. I never heard anybody from Oakland County in Michigan, but welcome, and I'm so glad that you found me. One of the first rules is to get yourself an attorney, because what you're doing is you're dealing with an agency that's very corrupt, not transparent, and will take your children away from you, will traffic your children, will alienate your children. So you need to have a fighter in your hands. You need a person that is trained in dependency law with juveniles and family. Juveniles, family, dependency law. That's the area that you want to be in. And Mr. Davis just spoke a little bit earlier ago, and he's one of those candidates. He's been doing it for 35 years, and he's also a trial attorney. And so I embrace you to maybe think about talking to him. He is available for free if you are a guest on my podcast or talk on my podcast. So if you call in and you're on speakerphone, or if you set up appearance with Grace, my show producer, then you qualify for a free 15-minute private consultation with Mr. Davis. And that is not bad at all, because you can at least talk to him and get some important questions answered. He's the real thing. He's also fought CPS in civil court in both the state and federal, and won millions of dollars. He's a trial attorney. You can't ask for better. He'll fight you in all the states. Right now, he's in Arcadia, LA County, but he also does Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, and then Northern California. And right now, he's in the state of Oklahoma. So he'll go all over the place to help you. But you need that attorney, because you're dealing with, it's like open heart surgery. If you know anything about open heart surgery, you're going to get a real doctor. You're not going to have a mechanic or a window washer working on your heart. And so what you want to need is you need a real doctor. Well, you need a real attorney. And a lot of you say, well, they gave me a court-appointed attorney. I don't have to pay for one. Well, there's a rule is something you get for free, don't expect much. These court-appointed attorneys have a caseload of 30 or more clients. They also will not fight for your case. They're criminal attorneys. They're not any dependency attorneys. They have been practicing law that long, and they are actually run by the CPS. They're paid by the CPS, the Child Protection System. So good luck. I tried them. They were a disaster. They're hoping that you don't have the money. They only prey on families that are very poor and that are not too bright. And they took advantage of me very entirely. I thought I was pretty bright, but the CPS is a trickery type things. Also, you don't have to, talk to them. I'll talk about that in my rule number 3. But going back to rule number 1, you need to get the attorney. Now, if 15 minutes is not enough time, then below my screen, I am advertising for 30 minutes a consultation with Mr. Davis. I made special arrangements, so he'll talk to you privately on Zoom for 30 minutes for $60. That's $2 a minute. You can't go wrong there. And he'll talk to you for 30 minutes how to navigate and fight CPS and get your children back. So that's the second way to talk to him. A third way is if you know that you need an attorney right now, you can retain him right now by calling in 888-888-6582. That's the law offices of Vincent W. Davis. And he has many attorneys for many different legal matters: real estate, immigration, collision, workman's comp. I can go on and on and on. But the area again you want is dependency law, where it deals with family and juveniles. You can call right now, Esme. I will answer the phone. My phone is on standby, and it's on Vonage, which is a StreamYard phone application. So you can call in right now. This you are joining the podcast right now, Esme. You're in the room. That is joining the podcast. And again, there are 4 ways: just finding this room, or be a guest on my podcast, or type in comments like you're doing right now, or you can call in the phone number. The phone number is up 626-698-0990. I'd love to hear from you, Esme, and answer any question you can. Now, I just mentioned rule number 1. Rule number 2 is you want to have a notebook to organize all your paperwork in. I was very bad about that, and so I needed a way to organize it. So you get a notebook, a 3-ring binder, a big one, 8.5, or is it 8 by, it's 8.5 by 11. That's the size you want. In a 3-ring binder, you put in subject dividers. One of the most important documents in there will be your timeline of your incident log. That's where you record anybody you talk to. It could be the CPS workers, social workers, or the police, or the school, or the children, or family, whatever the incident is. What you do in the first line is you put in the time, the day, the location, and the people involved. The second line, you put in a 1-sentence summary of what the incident is about. And the third line is you put the outcome of the incident, a summary. And so that's how you could interact with me on that. So let me see what else she said here. Okay, this must be him. Good evening. Can you hear me? Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, are you, what is your first name?
It's Esme.
Oh, Esme, and you're from Michigan.
Yes.
Okay, and what is your question you like to ask?
Well, I got a call from CPS yesterday, and they want me to take my daughter because she has a bruise to get a physical examination.
Yes.
So is that by law that I have to take her? Can I refuse?
Well, first of all, you have to understand. You have to tell me at the very beginning who initiated the call. Was it the agency call you, or did they come by your house, leave you a card, or how did it all start?
They went to my daughter at school.
Okay, and why would they come to school? Did the teacher call them?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, they are trained professionals. They're supposed to call if they suspect any abuse or neglect. And so they probably called the CPS. They went to school. Now, they're supposed to inform you that you're at school interviewing your daughter. You don't have to be present with your daughter, but you're supposed to be at school with your daughter. And, you're supposed to wait. The school should have called you. So you never received a call from the school.
No, until after. No, I never received a call from the school at all. Just to around 7 in the evening, the CPS people called me. They said that a worker had stopped by my house, but I wasn't home. But I didn't know anything until they called me that they missed me.
Yeah. What you need to do is be very careful. They're going to set you up. What they're doing is they're supposed to do within 24 hours of someone calling in, either a lay person or it could be also a professional, which teachers are. They are trained and to recognize. So it may be just a simple bruise. Do you know how the bruise happened?
I'm not sure. I think she was roughhousing.
How old is your daughter? How old is your daughter?
She's 12.
She's 12. And so did she tell someone at the school that they tried to talk to her?
Well, the thing is, we had an issue earlier this week, and I had taken her phone away.
So you and your daughter at 12 had an issue, and so, well, hopefully your daughter knows that she's not supposed to talk to strangers. Does she know that rule?
I have told her many times this rule, but she said that she felt scared.
Well, you're intimidated, especially if a social worker showed up with the police. But your incident with that, the incident with the daughter, with the phone, what was it about? What did she do that's wrong?
I took her phone away because we had talked about her not dating because she's too young.
Okay. Now, are you married? Do you have does she have her father with you?
My husband is her stepdad.
Okay, so you're married. You're married, but her biological father, is her biological father still in the picture?
No.
Okay, so her biological father's not in the picture. She has a stepfather. Has he legally adopted her?
No.
Okay, that may be a problem because they're going to try to push him out of the picture. But anyway, you're disciplining her because she wants to date. And is there any reason why she wants to date at 12?
I don't know the reason.
She didn't say anything, or did you try to talk to her? She would be what grade in school? 6th grade?
She's in 7th grade.
7th grade. Well, that is a little young to start dating. And have you told her about the facts of life?
Yes, I spoke to her several times about,
Okay.
her, that it's too early. She needs to focus on herself and get to know herself and love herself first before she can bring anybody else in the picture.
Right. And so she's getting peer pressure because probably the friends that she hangs out with are dating, right?
I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah. Boy, that is a tough one. That's a tough one. It's very hard to discipline teenagers. And they do a lot of things sometimes they regret what they're doing. So you had the discussion with her, and how long was the phone going to be eliminated from her?
I told her a week.
A week, okay. So you set a time restraint on her, and you told the reason why you're taking the phone away is you did not want her to participate talking to people. Who bought the phone?
My husband.
And who pays for the monthly fee?
My husband.
Okay, so he has every right to control the usage of the phone. He bought the phone and he pays the monthly bill on the phone. And you have every right because she is a minor and you have every right to do that. Have you thought about talking to some counseling? Like, is there a church group you guys are a part of?
No, not at the moment.
Yeah. I was just wondering if there's some type of group. Is she in Girl Scouts?
No.
Okay. Is there any other activities she's involved with at school?
No, the season's pretty much over. That where she was in a club for running. But that's over, and she didn't join anything else.
Okay. So she's kind of becoming a loner, and she's probably meeting some friends on the dark side. Friends that probably have parents that don't care about their children. And the phone is a sometimes can be a terrible tool that people can use.
Yeah.
So you got this call from the social worker who wants to interview you, or what does she want to do?
Yeah, she said, I guess the person that was assigned is off in the weekend. So the person that was talking to me, she told me that I need to take her to the ER to get
Well, what you can do,
an
you can take her
exam.
to your pediatrician. Don't let them direct you where to take the child to. You're in control of the situation. You do not, by law, have to talk to the social worker. You do not have to surrender your child. You do not have to open the door to her or a policeman. They have to have a warrant or your permission, or there has to be violence going on that would happen. So, what I'm saying to you right now is that you're at a good chance of hanging on to your daughter, but your daughter can work against you because she'll make up stories. What kind of stories would you think she'd make up?
Well, she did make up a story. She said that she told them that I hit her.
That you hit her, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And where did she say you hit her?
On her arm, where she has a bruise.
Okay, so was it a slap or a hit, she said?
She said it was a hit.
Okay, all right, okay. So she's going to start making false accusations, and what you need to do is that you need to get a hold of an attorney. Now, do you and your husband have a job?
My husband currently is working.
Okay. The reason, the reason why I'm saying that is that if you don't get an attorney, its table's going to turn on you, because if they give you a court-appointed attorney, that court-appointed attorney is not going to do anything for you. That court-appointed attorney is usually with 30 or more cases, doesn't have time for your case, and is in criminal law, not in dependency law. So you're in dependency court, dependency law with juveniles and families. So you need a dependency attorney. Now, there's several ways you can get an attorney. I have an attorney that you can talk to for 15 minutes for free because you've just been a guest on my show. Well, you talk to me on my phone. All I have to do is submit your name, phone number, and email if you so choose to speak to Mr. Vincent Davis. He has 35 years experience, and for 15 minutes, he'll talk to you about what you can do or not do with your child that's making these false allegations.
Okay.
That's one way. I know that right now you're probably not thinking of an attorney because you know it's a pretty expensive endeavor there. But you have to understand these child protection system, these social workers are corrupt. They'll lie, they'll cheat, and they will try to break up your family. How many other children you have?
I have 4 children in total.
Okay. You need to start making a list of family members that they can all stay with. When I say that is that they're going to try to take your child away and all your children. They'll do it whether they have cause or not. Of course, attorney could stop them. There's a way you could stop all that. But you need to make a list of family members because you don't want them put in foster care because your children will be harmed in foster care. Your children will be harmed. You don't want that to happen. I think what needs to happen that you need to do, ask me, is that you need to get some type of counseling with you and your daughter to talk this out. That's why I mentioned the church.
We definitely talked about it. And she's really
because what she's doing, she's trying to muck the water and try to alienate you parents from her. She thinks that CPS has probably made lots of promises to her and probably
Oh yeah,
tried to
definitely
twist
they
her.
did.
And the reason being is that it's a $1 trillion business, this CPS system in Michigan. All they want to do is make money off your daughter. They want to get her into foster care. See, just because they got a case open, they're getting no money. But once they get them into foster care, they're going to get maybe $20,000 per month for her being in foster care. And that comes from the state, which comes from the federal. The money trickles down very fast, very easy. Now, how did it leave with the social worker you talked to? How'd the end of the conversation go?
They kept telling me that I need to take it to the ER.
You had to do what?
Get a examination.
What was it? I'm sorry, I missed that. Tell me again.
They want a doctor to check her body to see if she has, to check for injuries.
Right. Well, you could do that with your pediatrician. You
Is
have
there
it.
a limit time frame that I need to do that for?
Well, you want to do it as soon as possible because the bruise happened a couple days ago, right?
Yeah.
Well, what you need to do is you need to make an appointment with her pediatrician. Do you have health insurance?
We do, yes.
Okay. And do you have a pediatrician?
Yes.
All right. Well, what you need to do is you need to make an appointment with a pediatrician and have her checked out. And then that doctor can determine whether it's caused by a physical blunt force or maybe she injured it doing a sport. You said that she was into sports?
She likes running. She likes her dance class, and she also is into trying to do handstands and all those kind of crazy things.
Okay. All right. Well, this is hard for you. This is going to be hard for you. And the reason being, you're at the early stage, which is a good thing. And you did the right thing by contacting me because I hate to tell you, CPS will not be your friend. They'll not be your friend.
Yeah.
I know that from my experience, yes. And what you need to do is you need to contact attorney. Now, would you like to speak to Mr. Davis for free for 15 minutes?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the conversation, I'll get your name, phone number, and email. You just text it to me on the phone number, and then I'll get it to my show producer who will get you in touch. Now, it's so imperative that you ask some important questions. You tell Mr. Davis when you first speak to him that you have a 12-year-old daughter, you have other children, and your daughter is making allegations that you hit her that caused the bruise. And so what you want to do is not to lose your daughter. So that's so important. You're at the great state right now because they haven't taken your children. Now, if they happen to pop by your house, do not open the door. I don't care if a policeman's there. They have to have a court order. They have to have a warrant. And that's a...
Okay, will that make them be more vicious, though?
Well, they can be, but if you tell them that you're going to contact your attorney before you talk to them anything further. You don't want to say you don't have an attorney. You're going to pretend you have one. And when you talk to Mr. Davis, he'll tell you what to say. He'll tell you what to say and do. And I'm not saying you have to retain Mr. Davis because his fee, his retainer is based on the complexity of the case, how long it's been going on, and what the case is all about. And right now, it's the early state of your case, so you got the upper hand on them. So what you need to do is you just need to not talk to them as much as possible and start looking and talking to attorneys. Talking to Mr. Davis will be a good thing. There's nothing about that wrong about saying. But you don't want them in your home. You don't want to answer the door. By the way, if the door rings, you don't know who it is. What's the golden rule? We don't open the door to strangers, no matter if it's the police.
Okay.
And if you encounter them outside, you tell them that you need to have your attorney present before you go anything further. And if you do meet with them, it's always want to meet them at a public place like McDonald's or Starbucks, because you can record them and document them in public places.
Okay.
Also, you're going to need to know my rule number, my rule number 4, which is research the CPS case on the internet. What you do is you type in the county. I think you said the county is what? What was the county you said? Henderson?
Oakland County.
Okay. Oakland County, right. So you type in Oakland County, Michigan. Then after that, you put the letters CPS. And then you go ahead and start asking questions after that. That way it's focused on CPS in Oakland County, Michigan. And then you ask those questions. Like, how's neglect handled? Or what do I need to do to talk to the social workers? Or anything about that case you want to know. It's important that you say Oakland County, Michigan, CPS, and then you type your question after that. That's the format. That will help you. That's rule number 4. And I tell people to spend a lot of time on it, like 60 hours researching your case. And you can also search in how they treat suspect of abuse. You're going to be charged with abuse if it's a bruise. But it depends on how bad the bruise is. Your daughter, you said, is making it up to retaliate her of losing her phone rights, which your husband pays for. So
Okay.
it's that part is important there. What other questions do you have for me, Esme? Take your time. I know it's hard.
Yeah, they can use all this against me, like anything I say to them?
I say that again?
Anything I say to them, they can use it against me?
Yes. That's why you don't want to talk to them unless your attorney's present. You always follow what your attorney tells you to do so. That's why you need an attorney. You see, you're dealing with an agency like your Alice in Wonderland. You know the story of Alice in Wonderland?
Yeah.
Okay. Alice is in her garden and she falls in the rabbit hole and she encounters the Chester cat. And the Chester cat is giving her advice to go to room to room to room. And every room she goes into, they say crazy things like off with your head or stuff like that. Well, the Child Protection Agency is like that. They do that because they want to purposely confuse you and get your child trafficked into foster care. Now, foster care has been bad. So what I'm saying is that you need to be very careful there. And you really want to have an attorney tell you what you can say and not do and whatnot. Because you don't want to lose your daughter and you don't lose your other kids. It is a nightmare. And since your husband's not adopted your daughter, that's going to be a problem because they're going to say he has no legal rights to your daughter.
So he can't keep my daughter if anything happens to me?
Well, you have a marriage certificate. You two are married, but she's not part of the family because he hasn't adopted her. He needs to be a guardian.
And who can be a guardian?
A lot of people can be guardians. If you want a temporary guardianship, a family member can be a guardian. then they're responsible for the child. But you got a tough case there because you got a child that wants to use CPS against you. And that is a nightmare. That's a nightmare. So I'm telling you, you got to be careful about that.
Okay. And should she talk to them and tell them like I lied, and will that get cleared up, or?
Well, she can try to talk to him. If she does, I mean, you took her phone away, so how would she talk to them?
Like when they want to do an interview with her?
They can't do an interview with her. You can tell the school. Did you, when you start the beginning of the school year, did you tell who she can talk to with?
I'm not sure.
Don't you have an emergency card that you fill out with the phone number and who to pick her up and who she can talk to?
Yes.
Right. Are the social workers on that card?
I don't think so. No.
They're going to try to orchestrate and say stuff that's not true. I don't know how to help. I mean, so many cases they're going to try to do that, and a child would do that just to be ornery and mean to you. Let me check on something here. I'm going to do the same thing. Oakland County, Michigan. CPS. Okay, let's see what I. Okay. Okay, this is the answer to this question. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Child Protection Services, CPS, can talk to a child in Michigan without a parent's permission if they have a court order or the child is in immediate danger. Now, being in school, they're not in immediate danger. They get a court order, they're going to have to convince the judge that the child is in danger.
Okay.
Now, if CPS has warrant issued by a Michigan judge, they can talk to your child without your police permission. A police officer will also be present.
Okay.
You know,
They get the warrant?
they got to have that legal documentation there. So what you need to do is you need to get a hold of that attorney fast. So what I would do is that I would give me that information today so I get it to my show producer who can get in touch and set up a private consultation with Mr. Davis for 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then he legally can give you legal advice. I can only tell you things that he's done, or in my case, that I've done.
Correct.
And see, what age can a child refuse to see a parent in Michigan? I don't understand what that's a weird question. When can a child refuse visitations in Michigan? Oh, you have to wait till you turn 18 to become legally emancipated. So in Michigan, it's 18. In California, it's 12. So that's a good thing. Your child cannot emancipate from you until they turn 18.
Okay, what does that mean?
I'm sorry, say again.
What does that mean?
Okay. Emancipate means to divorce your parents.
Okay.
I had a daughter who was 12, and she was tricked into divorcing from her parents. And she was told that you can, at age 12 in California, you can emancipate from your parents. So she divorced mom and dad and her brothers, and her aunts and uncles and cousins and her grandparents, both sets of grandparents. She changed her name, and then she got sealed her birth certificate and got adopted by foster care. All told by the social worker.
Wow.
So that is a really heavy thing that is does there. So your child has to be in danger for any of the CPS to really get involved. That's what I'm trying to say is that, if she had a lot of bruises on her body and told about stories and she had a witness or something, that'd be something to worry about. But you said the bruises, you don't know where they came from. They weren't from you. The only thing you and your daughter have a problem with is that you don't want her to date at age 12, which is very important. My wife was 16 when she got raped going to a concert. And I think 16 is too young to go to concerts, especially when she wasn't taken care of, wasn't watched. And she got raped. Young people don't understand how bad society is or how bad the outside world is. Another thing is that she can meet someone on Facebook that is let's say she's posing as a girl, he's a guy, and he's like 50 years old, he's a pervert, and he could trick her into meeting her somewhere and then rape her.
Correct, yes.
I mean, the phone was a nice thing they came up with. The internet was a great thing they came up with, but it also is a tool that pedophiles use to hide behind. And there are a lot of pedophiles. These are men that prey on young children. So if a 21-year-old boy is interested in a 12-year-old girl, that's called a pedophile. That's somebody that I believe is a pedophile. They prey on young children. There's no rhyme or reason why a 21-year-old wants to go out with a 12-year-old, except maybe because it's a sexual fantasy to him or something like that. So that's why you got to be careful.
Yes, definitely.
How old are your other children?
My oldest is 14.
All right.
14. 5. Are you 6 or 5? He's 5 and a 3-year-old.
So 14, 12, 5, or 6, you said 6 and a 4-year-old? Yeah. And do they know what's going on?
I'm pretty sure they know.
Well, you may want to have a talk with them, you and your husband. You should do this jointly with your husband and say, we have a family matter. Your sister has spoken to the Child Protection Agency, which is a very corrupt agency. And they may take our family apart and put all of you into foster care. So you're going to contact an attorney who's giving you direction of what to do.
Okay. My 2 little ones, if anything happens, will they be able to stay with their dad?
Okay. Are they who's the biological father of your 2 little ones?
My husband.
Okay. So the 4-year-old and the 6-year-old are biological parents, you and your husband.
Yeah.
What about now the 12-year-old isn't? What about the 14-year-old?
The 14-year-old, his biological father is in California.
So the man that you're living with or that you're married to is not her biological father.
No.
So you have 2 older children. See, this is very unusual here. If you have 2 younger children with the man you married, how did you meet these other men to have the other children?
I met them before my husband.
Oh, okay. So you met these two individual men then, right?
Yes.
And you have a children with each of them. Now, do these men want to be a part of anything of your children, your 14-year-old and your 12-year-old?
Um, my 14-year-old, his dad is involved in his life, not as much as he should, but he's there.
Okay.
But her dad, he is not in the picture at all.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you need a real special family meeting because you need to discuss your plans. You need to tell everybody be on the same page is not to talk to strangers. Now, what's the definition of a stranger to you?
Anybody who's not family.
Well, a definition of a stranger is somebody that your family members don't know.
Okay.
You really don't want to talk to strangers. You don't want your children to talk to strangers because they may say something bad. They may, they may say something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you.
And you may end up having more of a mess than you realize. So the two younger children, you're okay because their father is married to you, so that is good there. The two other children, see, they'll take anybody under the age of 18 into foster care because they want to generate money. They get about $20,000 per child per month, and that's a lot of money. That's $260,000 a year. So they're looking at bonuses and incentives, and they're not going to be fair or honest with you. And I'm pretty sure when you talk to Mr. Davis, he'll tell you the same thing. And but you do need to talk to them. You have my number there that you called in on, right? 626-698-0990.
Yes.
Can you, and you said you want to speak to Mr. Davis. Can you write your first and last name, your phone number, and your email to me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because we have about 3 minutes left of the show because my show only runs to 8 o'clock. And I wanted to get that done before we run out of time. Now, what other questions do you have, Esme?
How can I make my husband guardian of my daughter? Is that possible?
It is possible. You go to the you go to what I just tell you. You go to Oakland County, Michigan, and you want to put in how to do guardianship. Now, guardianship is not part of CPS, so that's why I didn't put CPS in there.
Okay.
To request guardianship in Oakland County, Michigan, you can file a petition with the probate court in the county where the individual lives or is located. So you go to Oakland County and you go to the probate court. And you want to include as much information as possible in the petitioning, including the following: why a guardian is needed. And maybe you want to do as a guardian, you may want to also maybe do a, instead of a guardianship, you may want to do adoption.
Okay.
Not a guardianship. I'm sorry. It should be adoption. I was thinking something else. Adoption.
Okay. So right now I should ignore CPS as much as possible.
Well, you're not. You okay? You want to get an attorney and let the attorney make the decision.
Okay.
Now, after you talk to Vincent Davis, and if you want to retain him, you can do so. If you don't, you're going to have to look up an attorney in your area that deals with dependency law and juvenile and family matters. It's very important you say dependency law. And then there are two important questions you need to ask that attorney. Question one, are you a dependency law attorney in family and juvenile matters? If they say yes, the next question you're going to ask them, have you ever done a civil lawsuit against the child protection system? Have you ever done a lawsuit? And if they say yes, then you got yourself an attorney you may want to hire. Because if they've done a lawsuit and won their case, won millions of dollars, then you know that they're fighters and they know about fighting CPS. Most attorneys do not want to do civil lawsuits against the CPS. Is that making sense to you?
That's very good to know.
Yeah, I want you to write that down. And again, my show's recorded, so anything you forget, you can listen to me again.
I appreciate that.
So, and again, I'm on tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Sunday's my early time. So I'm on at 8 o'clock because I go to church after that, me. So you can talk to me tomorrow night, the following time. I'm on twice a day, 14 times a week. And I've been on for a whole year. So there's a lot of my recordings, a lot of my shows there. Hi, Faye. Thank you for joining me. Faye's a single mother from Richmond, Kentucky. On the phone, I'm talking to Esme from Oakland County in Michigan. She has a case right now, and her case is she has done a punishment for her daughter because she wanted to start dating at age 12. So she took away her phone for a week. And her daughter is telling CPS that her mom made the bruises on her arm because she's trying to use CPS to investigate and make the life miserable. And so I've told her she qualifies for a chance to talk to Vincent Davis, and I've told her what to do. Her husband, she has 4 children. 2 are biological, the young ones are, but the older ones were by different fathers who are not involved. So I told him he needs to adopt the children. He needs to adopt the children so that his rights can be there. So that's what I'm doing, Faye. Thank you so much for coming on. So, Esme, you pretty well squared away what you need to do?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want you to don't forget to give me your first and last name, your email, and your phone number. All 3 things to me, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you all good night. Faye, is there anything you wanted to say since you just came on here, Faye? Anything you want to say, Faye? All right, I need to end my show. My time is up, and it's 8 o'clock. And I want to thank you all for listening. And there'll be a short message from my attorney, Vincent Davis, after I leave this room here. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. God bless you. Thank you, Esme, and thank you, Faye. And this is Bob Pace signing off.
Hi, I'm attorney Vincent Davis, and I've been fighting CPS for over 35 years. Through my years of experience, I've gained invaluable insights that I'm ready to share with you. If you're a parent or a caregiver or a relative, we need to talk. I'm offering a new opportunity for you to speak with me on a one-on-one basis. Ask me any questions, and I'll provide you with the insight you need to take steps in your CPS case. Members get everything they need to gain confidence and the knowledge that they need to support necessary to truly fight back. And as a special thank you for attending, I have a special offer just for you. Don't miss out. Join us, and let's take that next step together. I'll see you at the question and answer event.